Were you here during the struggles of Hurricane Maria?
Yeah.
Nobody had electricity. What would happen is people would meet up in one place. We would share food, we would share resources. It didn't feel that we were going through a tragic moment.
I was trapped in Isla Verde like for 3 days because of the flood. It was hefty, man.
My uncle got arrested. My grandmother had passed away. I lost my car. There was no money. Very difficult moments.
To someone out there that's maybe struggling, that's going through a tough time, what would be your final message to them?
Oh God, that's it.
You guys, we are back, and today we just landed in San Juan, Puerto Rico, home to many islanders who say that their motto here is to live stress-free. So we're gonna go out there, interview them, see exactly how they do it. So come along with me, and let's go. Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
If the whole world was watching you for 30 seconds, what is your best piece of advice that you would give them?
In 30 seconds, I will say, eat your food, go to school, obey your parents, and go to the beach.
Hey, there you go. And what do you think is the meaning of life?
Enjoy it. Life is beautiful to be pissed off or to be angry. Enjoy every single day. Give thanks to the Lord every day you get up in the morning. Enjoy the day and then be ready for the next day. That's it, man. Enjoy it.
So you believe in God?
Oh yeah, I do believe in God.
And how important has faith been for this journey of life for you?
He's number one. After God, everything else falls in place. That's it.
So trust in His process, everything will go where it needs to go.
Absolutely correct on that one.
And for someone out there that is maybe struggling with a lot of stress or a lot of anxiety or anything like that, what would be something or a struggle that maybe you went through that you overcame that could probably help them?
Number one, look for God. I mean, ask God, pray, go to church. Just be wherever God will lead you. He'll take you where you want to go. So if you're going through any struggles, meditate, take some time off, concentrate, follow the Lord, and you'll be good to go.
So find that center.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And for the final message that you would give to someone out there that's maybe struggling, that's going through a tough time, and they're trying to find that light at the end of the tunnel, what would be your final message to them?
Get up in the morning and do something good on a daily basis. 5 seconds on this one. If you do something positive a day, you're gonna do 365 positive things a year. So one positive thing a day, it'll take you a long way. Food for thought right there.
There you go. Well, thank you so much for your time, sir.
You got it, man.
Excuse me, sir. Quick question for you. If the whole world was watching you for 30 seconds, what is one life lesson you would give to the entire world?
Damn, this one's hard. I would say the struggle's gonna be the struggle, the goods are gonna be the goods.
As my tour guide, I've learned a lot about history. Were you always interested in history?
I would say so. I would say that it's important to learn history so that the horrible parts don't repeat themselves. I think we learn from our past. We evolve from it.
So you think everybody should definitely learn history?
I think so, at least the good parts of it.
So I've heard a lot of islanders around here say that their motto is to live stress-free. How do you go about doing that if you believe that?
I would say that there's no real way in Puerto Rico currently to live stress-free. To be quite honest, quite difficult. You don't have electricity most of the days. You also live under a colonialistic situation that, well, you have to endure through and you have to work with, but it's impossible to ignore it. And I think the best way is to face it and to fight for a better Puerto Rico in the case of Puerto Rico, or if you're in another place, say if you're in the United States or if you're in any other place in the world, I think you have to keep going for a better world.
And as somebody that has learned a lot about history, is there any specific pattern that led to people living a more happy life or more fulfilled life?
Personally, the things that have helped me the most have been feminist theories, specifically bell hooks, personally, right? Apart from that, there's other people like Frantz Fanon, which talks about, in the case of, I'm a Puerto Rican, so there's a lot of conversations around colonialism. Patriarchy faces every other place, and I would say the other thing is the studies around work itself, and these are things that personally, I think on a personal level helps the ways that things manifest in our personal lives, and it helps us live better, right? Obviously, it's not like, the entire world's going to change, we're going to do this.
Right.
But personally, like from the individual, it helps you to see the world in a better light, or at least act in a better light, not repeat the things that have been oppressing a lot of other people. And that comes from, people say that which most people have been, colonized in a way, that it's important to decolonize and that's something that Frantz Fanon talks about. Then again, if you're in the U.S., if you're currently in places like, currently a lot of people are talking about the situation in El Congo, or people are talking about the situations in anywhere, there's an underlining ideological problem on the creations of colonialism, right? So it's important to read literature that would help you to try and decolonize and break those patterns that end up creating more oppression, you know? And I tie that into patriarchy, I tie that into all those different things, and that's some things that as an individual you can do to get better.
So I heard the other day from somebody I interviewed that if you do one positive thing every day, that's 365 positive things a year. Would you say that that's more of like a perspective to adopt when it comes to this?
I think that's a great way to seeing it, ¿verdad? You're seeing it in a positive light. 365 sounds like a very big number. Right. But at the same time, I think, I wouldn't quantify it. I would say like just doing it and tying it into your agenda, into your, I wouldn't say personality, but into your habits.
Right.
Not thinking about a number, really, just doing it because it's a better thing to do.
Right. And you mentioned work. Do you believe in like finding that passion for something?
I believe it's important to live in passion, to live in things that you like. Currently, it's kind of difficult. For example, I'm a tour guide, pero I wouldn't say that what I love doing is.
Right.
I enjoy the work. Right. It's not a horrible job. There's other worse cases, ¿verdad? I would say that fighting for your passions would be like the end goal, not exactly working that. It doesn't feel like work, that what I'm doing is like enjoyable.
Right.
For example, I love doing music. I love talking about politics. I love talking about history. I guess tourism in a way helps in that, ¿verdad? Pero I wish other things as well.
When you were going through this Hurricane Maria, I know that everybody around here was having this huge struggle, especially with like electricity and what you said before. Was there something that kept you going to see that light at the end of the tunnel, knowing that good days would come, knowing that things would come back? Was there something that kept you pushing?
Communion. In the moment of Hurricane Maria, I remember my entire urbanization was like, you didn't have... Nobody had electricity. What would happen is people would meet up in one place, the only place that might have had electricity. We would share food, we would share resources. We started sharing responsibilities. This person looks for diesel, this person looks for water. And I would say that having that communion in a moment of tragedy, for some reason, it made it feel a lot better. It didn't feel that we were going through a tragic moment because we had each other. And I think that would be the most important thing. And I think in most things, in general, like when you have a great circle of people that you're feeling in love and you feel loved, and that entire thing, I think that helps you go through different tragic situations, right? I would say that a lot of people would mention that in those situations.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And nose deep into history, what is your favorite quote or best piece of information that you could give to somebody about history itself?
¿Cómo dice esta? Si quieres cambio verdadero, camina distinto. If you want real change, you have to learn to walk differently. I think that would be the translation.
That's awesome. And so there's somebody out there that's struggling, that's going through a hard time. What would be your last piece of advice or message that you would give them?
Depends what they were struggling on. There's always room for improvement, even when it's like the worst possible scenario. There's always, life is constantly going up and down, and there's moments that you don't know that it's going to be going horribly, and then out of nowhere it goes horribly. But it's understanding that there's also going to be, within those bad moments, there's always moments of growth. I've noticed that at least in my worst moments in my life, there was a time that my uncle got arrested, my grandmother had passed away, lost my car, there was no money, very difficult moments. And in those moments, I've learned that I have appreciated them more, and once I'm in a better place, or in that same moment, because they make us stronger, they make us better, they make us understand more the world. And I think we have to appreciate that in a certain way and learn from it and understand that there's going to be better days.
Problems help us grow.
Exacto. So yeah.
Well, thank you for your time, sir. Guys, that was a fantastic first interview. I loved interacting with that guy, and he gave us such beautiful insights on history, on how to not repeat the bad, but only to use the patterns to repeat the good. So let's go out there, get some more interviews on how to live a stress-free life out here in the islands. So let's go. And if the whole world was watching you for 30 seconds, what is the best life lesson or piece of advice you would give them?
Follow God, that's it. It's pretty straightforward. Yeah, He's gonna have all the answers for you.
So you believe heavily in God?
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
And how important has faith been for you in this journey of life?
It's been a struggle, definitely. I've been facing a lot of heavy shit.
Yeah.
What's the matter? But he's always there. He has my back, always. And when I speak to him, he always answers back. And just be patient with him and, trust his word of wisdom. That's what I was trying to say.
So lean on him.
Definitely.
For sure. And so I heard that there's a motto out here. Many Islanders like to tell me that they like to live out here stress-free. So do you believe in that? And if you do, how do you go about doing that?
Well, definitely there's a saying over here that we say that we live for your vacation. So definitely, the economic part is kind of hard, but without that, without the economic part, stressful, it's pretty good. You know, it's all peaceful. It's a dream. I like living here. It's pretty good.
There you go. And were you here during the struggles of Hurricane Maria?
Yeah, it was hefty, man. I've been here my whole life. I was trapped in Isla Verde like for 3 days because of the flood.
Wow.
It was intense. 7 months without water and electricity.
Wow.
It was intense. Yeah. But I like that a lot because we turn everybody like a community. Everybody hang out in one single spot, bring out food, bring out board games, and it was pretty cool, honestly. Like we got disconnected from the electronics and just got back to the basics and just talking to each other, getting to know each other, and hanging out, and telling stories like old days. It was pretty cool, honestly.
That's beautiful. And for your final message that you would give to someone out there maybe going through a struggle similar to that, and they're looking for that light at the end of the tunnel, something positive to look forward to, what would be your last piece of advice or maybe a message you would leave them?
Patience is a virtue for those who practice it. Definitely. That would be it.
That's beautiful, man. You have amazing advice.
Appreciate it.